Okay, you guys, we're doing it at 8 a.m. We are shooting our marriage Q&A. We posted an Instagram post and we asked you guys if you have any questions. We didn't choose the questions, Jess did. So we will see.
You haven't read them yet, right?
I haven't read them yet, so it's like real time. Are you ready? Gary Lipovetsky. First question. How to not get bored of the relationship after a long time together? Remember when we first met and we had like all this like exciting stuff and we were traveling everywhere and doing stuff, and Gary always told me budni dni. You said, what is budni dni?
Just every day.
Yeah.
There's gonna be Wednesdays. Wednesdays will eventually
yeah, he always told me, he's like, now it's all exciting and stuff, but I want you to know that there's gonna be those just like regular, simple, boring days, and I actually like those days.
The question is basically how do you
not get bored?
How do you not get bored? I think it's not a question of being bored with a relationship. I think it's a matter of working on yourself. The fact that you're as busy as you are and I'm as busy as I am, rather than our relationship being kind of an everyday boring thing, it's what I go back to. It's my home base. It never gets boring because we have each other.
I feel like boredom is a luxury in our lives at
I'm
this
just
point.
not bored. Like, every minute is accounted for. Every minute is we're doing something. That's my exciting time because I get to reconnect with you. So it doesn't get boring.
The other person is not there to entertain you. I mean, it's kind of your job to fulfill your life, to fill it up with things that you love, career or hobbies or anything like that. When you have your own thing going on, it's like when you spend that one-on-one with your partner, you cherish it more because you're not together all the time. And Gary and I mean, we work together, so we're together a lot, but we're not like together.
You and I are both very passionate about our, all of our projects. And what I love about our relationship is that we have this in common, and we have these things that we love so much. Obviously, the kids too. We talk about the kids, we talk about work, so it doesn't get boring because you're my partner in life. So we do it all together.
Have you ever been on the verge of thinking, wow, I just can't do it anymore? And if so, how do you overcome it?
You know what? I never thought I can't do this relationship. When there have been overwhelming times with the children, it's more like, I'm like, wow, I'm responsible along with you to raise these two guys and now these three guys. So that sometimes gets overwhelming when I start projecting into the future. That part stresses me out.
Yeah.
But since the day I met you, I never looked back and thought, oh, this wasn't like, I can't do this from a relationship perspective, or this isn't the person for me. The moment I met you, I was sure about you, and I've never had any doubt that you're the one for me.
For me, I think because I was much younger, getting into like such a serious relationship, I don't think I've ever doubted that I want to be with Gary. I had times when kind of exactly the same, where I would wake up and I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on? And this is like so much, it's too much. I think it's normal, and I don't even think that it's kind of based on an age. I definitely had panic attacks, probably that are a little more dramatic from, because of my age, because I'm just like, because all my friends are doing other stuff, right? And I'm like 23-year-old with a newborn.
Jake was just a baby. He must have been like maybe 7 or 8 months. And we were out somewhere, and we had just heard of people that we knew who had split up.
Yeah.
And I remember you looked at me and you said, oh my God, like, there's no scenario in my mind where you and I are not together. Even though you may have had those kind of moments where you had these panic attacks, when you heard of an example of somebody who had split up, you right away said to me, like, I can't even imagine that scenario.
I never felt that I was in the wrong place. And I never like woke up and I was like, this is not where I'm meant to be.
I don't feel insecure in our relationship. You always make me feel like everything is cool. From the day that we've met, you never once gave me a reason to think like any weird, like you never, whenever your phone rang, it was your mom. Like it was never.
My mom calls me a lot.
There was never anything you did to lead me to believe that I can't trust you or that I'm not your biggest priority. And I think that from my past experiences and just talking to my friends, a lot of girls, and I don't know why they do this thing where they feel that they have to kind of keep a guy on their toes and they have to make him feel that he's got competition. You made me understand that there's no competition. Like you got me, you're mine.
How did you know that you were going to be spending the rest of your life together? When was the moment you understood you were going to last forever?
I had no doubts. which was amazing because I was 38 or 39, and I had girlfriends before, but there was never any one moment before I met you that I met somebody and I said, oh wow, this is the one. It was you. It was always you. I met you. That's it.
Not even one.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like a young man's stupid whatever. And I think a lot of guys make that mistake. They think it's real, and then it turns out not to be real.
What element do they confuse that makes them think it's real when it's not?
People, for the most part, like especially guys when they're young, they don't understand, I think, yet what's important in life. A lot of what drives them is ego. So when they meet a woman who looks a certain way or comes from a certain family or has a certain background or looks good on paper, they jump on it, and they're just not doing it for the right reasons. I already had enough experience in my life at that time, and the good thing is that I had a better understanding of who I was.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
And I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
The experiences that I've had since we got married, in terms of family, professional, integrating into your family with your mom and your brothers and everything, that's made me even more so realize who I am. So it's really brought me a lot of, I think, wisdom and peace.
I agree. You're very wise now.
Well, it's because of you.
What do you do when you are upset with your spouse?
It's actually funny because I was upset with you yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
And we talked about it in the car.
Yeah.
You talk about it. You keep your voice low.
Yeah.
You don't get excited about it, because if you remember the conversation we had yesterday, it would have been easy for it to accelerate into something that it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But we kept calm. You acknowledged my position. When you disagreed with me, you told me. We talked it out and we settled on it.
I think that it depends also on the couple. I think you need to figure out what's your best way of communicating. Maybe it's, for you need to take some time away from the situation to really compose yourself and not make it a bigger deal than it is, and then talk about it. Some people prefer to talk about it right away, because if they sit on it, it's just gonna harbor to become something bigger. So I think it's really about figuring out what works for you. I think for you and I, it's like we just discuss it at the end of the day, or just like later when we have time, when it's quiet,
Whenever
when
it's
it's not going on.
I think it goes back also to the dynamic between two people. I feel very much that in our relationship and all the aspects of our relationship, we're very much equal.
How do you spend time with each other while being busy with work and with the kids? This is a great example. I think that we feel like so much is going on right now, and we have a newborn, and we just kind of felt like we need to get away, overnight. So we do those things. I think that we're very much trying to be in tune of when we need a break from life. Before Max was born, Gary and I were traveling regularly. Like whenever we got to a point, we were like, okay, we just need, we need time, you and I, just to reconnect. We'll make an effort to even take a hotel room, just like do anything that's just him and I. How about jealousy? Do you ever get jealous with Gary's female friends? I think
I'm really interested to hear this.
In the beginning, there was one person where I just don't get it.
Yeah, and now you feel silly for thinking that.
Yeah, but that's like just every, young girl who is a little bit insecure. It was completely silly, but again, he never made me feel that I need to be jealous. I never had a reason to not trust him. He always makes me feel like there's no other woman in the world but me. I'm not a very jealous person.
I wish you'd be more jealous, to be honest with you. It would make me feel more wanted. That would be nice.
Like, I like it when you get attention from women. Like, remember when we were in the club and there was this one girl that came up.
It's a family channel, so we can't say what you did to me, but then
I find it funny, because like, where is he gonna go? He's stuck with me. Hello.
But what happens now is, like, if I'm out and there'll be a woman kind of looking at me and I'm feeling kind of weird about it, and then she'll approach me and she'll be like, hi, and I'll be like, hi, you're Valeria's husband, right? And I'm just like, yep, that's me. And
that's why I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What makes Gary different from your previous boyfriends? Hair. Definitely, it's hair. But I think with Gary, I felt something that I've never felt before with any of my boyfriends. And I dated good guys. Like, they were all great, but they were
jerks.
They were boys. It was different. I never felt like this is the person for me. And I feel like with Gary, just when I met him, I don't know, I just felt like this is my person. I can't explain it. If you are in a relationship or you're married, you know that feeling. You just feel like, you know.
I think the biggest difference is that I was very aggressive. Aggressive meaning a week after we met, I told you were going to be my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little, like crazy. I thought it also said something about you as a person. You're just like a man. You just came, you're like,
Very manly.
Valeria, I want you to name one thing that bothers you and one thing that you love about Gary. And Gary, you name one thing that bothers you about Valeria and one thing that you love about her.
You go first.
Nah.
Okay, so the one thing that I love about you is everything.
Good answer.
Like real. I think you're distant a lot. You get into all the other stuff that's going on in your life, but I understand it because you're dealing with a lot of stuff. I would want more of you.
I feel like that's my coping mechanism. I had it my whole life.
Yeah, you disconnect, and I feel you.
My mom says the same thing.
It manifests itself as different things. Like when we talk and you're on your phone, it just burns me up. Like when you're on your phone and we're talking and you're saying, "Don't worry, I'm listening."
Yeah, I definitely have that quality. I recognize it in myself as well. I feel like when there's so many things going on, the way I preserve energy and my sanity is that I go, into my own little world. One thing that bothers me about you, it's weird because it's like I have this hate-love relationship with it. It's like you're always in business mode. When we just have our moments, I know that you always think about business. I kind of love it sometimes, but sometimes I just want to shake you.
With me, I just love it. That's the thing.
I know. You're obsessed.
I just love it so much. But how about the thing that you like about me? You missed that part. See, you skipped over that completely.
But it's hard because what do you mean? I love so many things about you. That's why I married you.
It's a weird question, yeah.
Were you ever in love before? Is love supposed to be difficult? I was probably in love before, but it was a different kind of love. It wasn't like what I think love is now. And is it supposed to be difficult? No, it really shouldn't be difficult.
Shouldn't be. It's not difficult.
No.
When it's right, it's different for everybody. But
it's also different stages in life, you know what I mean? When I was younger, love was like...
Is it not with me?
No, emo, you know what I mean? Sitting and listening to sad songs and crying. It was like that kind of love. It was like this kid type of love.
Not like what we have, trying to build an empire kind of love.
Yeah, this is a different kind of. This is grown-up love.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Jada and Will Smith love.
Yeah. Aren't you going to ask me if I was ever in love before?
I hope you are.
You hope I was?
Yeah. Were you ever in love before?
After meeting you, I realized I wasn't. But at the time, I probably thought I was.
Yeah, I think.
But in reality, I wasn't.
But it was maybe a different kind of love.
Nah.
Was there ever a time when you were younger that you ever felt like you'd never find the one? If so, how did you overcome that fear? You're young. You'll be fine. What do you mean?
I know there are times when, you break up, you feel like there's not another person out there that...
You probably experienced that more than me.
When you break up, you think there's not another person out there that's as good of a match for you as the person that you just lost. It's nonsense, believe me. Time goes by, you meet somebody else. It's very simple.
Does Gary have any issues about your modeling/YouTube career? He really, really loves it, and I love the fact... Actually, I was in a relationship before where I felt like with my modeling career, it's like I had to fight for it, which was completely ridiculous because I was providing for myself, and that was, my career. And I feel like I had to explain myself every time I would travel or things like that. So I knew that I will never let that happen again. And when I met Gary, he completely supports, and I feel like he supports everything that I want to do. He's just like, you go get it, girl, So I think that's one of the things that I love about him. There was never any issues whatsoever with anything.
Yeah, but listen, you also have to know that I support everything because I see this isn't a game to you, right?
Yeah.
If you were doing stuff half-assed,
yeah, I
don't know how supportive I would be.
Yeah.
But the way that you do is you're very serious about it. So this whole YouTube thing, you're very serious about it. So why would I have any issue with it?
Yeah.
I think maybe that question is more on
the modeling aspect.
No, even the YouTubing aspect. I think it's a question of maybe how comfortable, let's say, I would feel from a privacy perspective about you talking about certain things or wearing certain, like maybe you're wearing a bikini and I don't like it. Like at the end of the day, I trust you and I see that everything you do is in good taste.
I want to know what have been your worst couple struggle that you've gone through.
I think the worst couple struggle, from my perspective, is when we had the kids. I think I let you down when I wasn't all like changing diapers, burping, bottles, and I had to discover for myself that I'm not that guy. And it's not that I love the children less than you.
Yeah.
But I can't make myself be somebody I'm not. So I think that was our biggest struggle, because I feel like you were let down because you thought I'd be there more. Whereas for me being there meant I was out doing more stuff for business, trying to develop us more, because as a man, maybe I'm more of the hunter.
I agree with that. I think that we both had to learn who we are as parents, because that's the thing. It's like you need to discover how you're a couple at first and your dynamics together, but then when you have kids, it like throws everything off and you have to rediscover yourself as people, as individuals, but also together as parents. So yeah, that was definitely something that I had different idea of how it's gonna go, but I think that we figured it out.
I think we're still figuring it out.
It's always gonna be in process.
Look, I think.
But I think, you know what, I feel like you got better. And
see, but the interesting thing is that when I think about what motivated me to do it, it wasn't me trying to make you happier, which 99% of what I do is to try to make you happier.
Yeah.
But in this case, I did it because that is just my own natural evolution. That I do more stuff with the kids. I'm more patient with them.
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
patience. Yeah,
for me,
patience is so hard to build.
I don't have the patience that you do. So, especially like with Jake, when he was, he's our first and he was little and he was doing crazy stuff. It was very difficult for me.
Active child.
It was very difficult for me.
But I'm happy you didn't do it for me, because I feel like sometimes when you do things for your partner, you're starting to resent them a bit. It's definitely deep down inside. You don't think about it, but then when you explode, all of these things come out. So I think it's very important to take the time and to really do it in your own pace, rather than just try to do things to please your partner.
So that was one thing.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
What was the hardest struggle, like the worst couple struggle? I think
the other one is from a business perspective, because I'm a big believer, if you're gonna do a business, you have to be like really, really aggressive about it. And I think that I may have been insensitive at times, where with your career, there were times when it was more difficult for you, and I feel like I was pushing you to the point where you kind of started to even like break down a little, because I really want you to succeed and I want your business to succeed. So I think I've learned how to also now like pull back and kind of give you your space and time to get to where you need to go.
I think that's part of what keeps me going in a way. It's like an athlete and a coach. It's like you need that push, and I think that's what makes us such a good team. I feel like when I am at a point where it's like enough is enough, I let you know and you understand that it's time to back off. But I think that we all need that person. Sometimes we can't be our own coach, and we need that person, especially if it's someone that's so close to you, to be like, you can do it, push. So I love that. I'm grateful for it, even in that if at times.
But you're also my wife and the mother of my kids, so it's finding that fine line where I'm pushing you, but I also want to make sure that you're okay. So for me, it's I have to find that balance. So I think that's something else that, if I had to think of what put a strain on our relationship, I would think it was that as well. People
grow over time. How do you make sure you both grow in the same direction together and not apart?
We don't need to try. We just have
No, that's not true. You say it because we figured it out for ourselves, but we are making sure that we are in tune with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that happens so often when people are just growing in different directions.
We definitely over-communicate, which I think is good. But it's interesting because a couple of days ago, you and I started talking about our long-term business goals. You said something like, do you know what I want? In reference to your our long-term goals. And when you said that, I stopped and I thought to myself, you know what? I actually never asked you what you want, because I just assumed you want what I want. you want to build an empire, you want to build legacy, you want to have financial success, because those are the things that I want. And I never stopped to like ask you because I just assumed it was the same. And then you told me what you want, and it happened to be the same. But for me, the revelation was that I never actually formally asked you, what do you want?
But that's the thing. I think that it's so easy for us to assume that we are on the same track, and then that's why I feel like sometimes when people get divorced or separated, one of those, like, you know, one of the spouses, when that happens, for them it's like a shock. It's like, how did it happen? And I think that's the problem. Just some of us are just, we assume that we're both growing in the same direction. So I think that it's very important to always kind of check in with your partner, seeing what they're going through, what do they want, where are they going, where they at. I think that's extremely important. Are you guys more introverted as a couple socially, or do you love going out with friends and stuff? I am definitely the introvert one.
You're more introverted than me, yeah.
Oh my god, I don't really care to see people. It's so weird. That's why I feel like social media is perfect for me, because I actually get to communicate and have this huge group of friends, but I still do it in the comfort of my own little cave.
I think your public persona is a little inaccurate as to who you are in real life. You're going around the city and you're screaming stuff, and
But that's me. No, if you see me with my friends, that's how I act.
Right, that's you, but you are so selective about who your friends are and who you're friends with, that we definitely have a small circle of like real friends.
Because I give so much in my family life, for me with friends, I really want to make sure that I'm giving my energy to the right group of people. So some people that meet me, they're like waiting for a performance, and I'm just like not feeling it. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste all this energy on you guys. So I think that I'm very selective. But Gary is a social butterfly. This guy can talk to anybody at any time. He wants to go out all the time.
I do want to go out more than you. Yeah, I want to be out.
Oh my god. He always makes fun of the fact that, when we got married, he thought that, he's marrying a 21-year-old. It's like, she's going to be dragging me to the clubs. But when we got married, it was just like, so, what do you want to watch tonight? In her PJs. And he's actually the one that sometimes has to push me to go out and do things. I'm tired, man. I need to sleep. I love Gary's parenting style. Oh, really?
Boom.
How did you decide on what values to give your kids, how to raise them, and how you guys handling everything now that you have 3 kids?
So it's actually interesting because we had that whole debate the other day about the kids living this privileged life as compared to the lives that you and I had.
Yeah.
You want me to elaborate?
Yeah, you can.
So Valeria's whole
I know you love this subject.
Valeria and I, we both come from really modest beginnings.
And contrary to what some people think.
Yeah, but whatever. Those people don't know what they're talking about, right? People make certain assumptions because they see the results of all of the work that we've done today, and they just assume it's always been like that. But I came from a family that, we immigrated when I was really young. I was 3 years old when we came to Canada from the Ukraine with nothing. And I remember growing up in that struggle with my parents doing everything they could. With Valeria, it was even more difficult because her mom came literally from nothing. They went through 2 immigrations. Her mom, for a very large portion of the time, raised her as a single mom. I think Victoria was like 21 when I left Russia, and Valeria was like 2.
Yeah.
When you're 21, can you imagine what that is? You take you're 21 years old. You're a woman. You're by yourself. You're not married. You just gotten divorced, and you take your 2-year-old baby girl and you move to another country with no money, no nothing. It was very difficult for you to grow up in that environment. Then it was very difficult for me too, because my family, financially, they never, became wealthy, and we
not even wealthy, like comfortable.
I used to have these fantasies of the kids growing up similar to how I grew up, in an apartment building, playing in the hallways and up and down the staircases, but that's not going to happen. But getting back to what the point is like, we have staff, we have people both, on Valeria Inc. side who work with us, and we have our team at home. We need that team because we're trying to build something really big, and we just can't do it all ourselves. Our boys, they're growing up in what could be perceived as a privileged life, but
It
again,
is a privileged life.
Are they going to grow up to be brats? I've personally seen a lot of brats come out of wealthy, privileged homes. You know, I've also seen nice, polite, well-rounded people come out of similar situations. The responsibility is on us to make sure that our boys are good people.
I'm scared of, the amount of excess, not access, EX.
It's like excessive.
Like excessive, like everything, having of too much of everything. We're trying to do better for our kids, all of us, no matter, where we at financially. We always try to do better. The generation today is so cuddled and so protected that something's missing there of that independence, and I want my kids to have that. I know I had that, and I'm so thankful that I had that. And there were times growing up I was looking at more privileged kids being like, I wish I had their life, but I know that today, it gave me all the tools to become who I am, and I want my kids to have the same. For us, the most important tool is to show them what is real and what's not, and what's important and what's not. And you can enjoy superficial stuff, but know that that means nothing compared to having the right priorities.
Here's a good question that I think is going to be tough for us to answer. Apart from kids and work, what are some topics you talk about the most? What do we talk about besides the kids and work?
We talk about experience that we want to have.
Is that work though? We talk about
work.
We talk about our goals a lot. Like
we talk about our goals a lot, yeah. Where we want to be in like 20 years, how we want to retire, places we want to go to. I'd love to hear how you guys tackle postpartum life together. Tips and advice. I don't think Gary understands what postpartum is. I feel like I'm gonna do a separate video about it. I definitely didn't talk about it enough. I don't share a lot with Gary because I feel like it's things he can't really help with. It's something that I have to take initiative and try to make myself feel better. When I do need extra help, or like this time we took a night nurse, which we never did before, and I told Gary that I'll need that extra help because now I realize on my third child that I really need that time to recover and heal more mentally than even physically. Physically is a whole other thing. I really wanted to make sure that I have all the support that I can get. I think Gary's part of helping me in this is that he agreed with me and he said, listen, whatever you need to do, whoever we need to get, let's do it. Okay guys, we have to go pick up the kids, take them to a birthday party.
I'm taking the kids to a birthday party.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Max. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, you can ask in the comments. We will answer. And let us know if you want to hear anything else from us.
I just want to say thank you. We really see the support that you guys are giving us. It really, really does mean a lot. We'll see you guys in the next video. Valeria's probably going to cut most of this out, but whatever. I don't care. I still love her. She's still cute. Mwah.
Love you guys.